Hello, friends. How are we doing? It's story time once again. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but let's go to our story. Let's do this. This is the story of SS Beard, Part 1, from Reddit user Shari the Dolphin. Is he a boat? Uh-oh. I don't know where this is gonna go, but here we go. Let's do it. Hey there, Moonhorse. Hello. I'd like to start off by saying that I love watching your streams where we explore the world of cringe and listening to the stories that you read aloud. Well, thank you very much. My fiance and I have been listening and watching you for years as we play Minecraft and Animal Crossing together. We're big fans, and we love your commentary and insight that you have on these special kinds of people. Well, I do my best. Actually, that's why I'm writing this. I very rarely post on Reddit, but I subscribe to your subreddit, and am giving my writing experiences a try so that these stories can be shared with the Moon Cult. Well, thank you. We always love a good story. Honestly, I value your commentary, and it's the main reason that I will be sharing these stories. I'm hoping that sharing these stories and hearing you read and comment on them would be kind of therapeutic, even though these events happened about 5 or 6 years ago. To this day, I'm still dealing with the embarrassment and shame of knowing and associating with a certain individual, especially since he was attempting to contact and threaten my now fiancé. Wow. We'll go into more details later. For now, let's start at the beginning. It's the early 2010s, and I'm in high school in a decently sized and growing city in the south, towards the east coast of the United States. I'm female, around 5 foot tall, and I like to play video games. This led me to joining the game club in my high school. At first, it was a continuous game of Monopoly that the upperclassmen would play until the end of the club meeting. Someone would take a picture of the progress and set it all up the next week to continue the same cycle. The rest of us played any board game that anyone would be willing to bring in, or we'd watch the same handful of people play random videos on the screen about video games or stuff in general. While sometimes I was bored, attending the club on a weekly basis allowed me to make new friends with shared interests. Being fresh out of my middle school and attending high school that had students from different areas of the large city that my middle school didn't cover, I welcomed any new friends. Over some time, I started to notice that some of the other attendees were in other classes of mine. Time to introduce a new character, Avocado and Sunflower Seed Beard. Wow, that's a name. Avocado is a quiet and friendly guy that, while he did hang out with the wrong crowd, he was pretty wholesome. He was very interesting because he was a huge anime fan and loved to play various trading card games, such as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. But he could still act normal in social settings. He was always polite to everyone, and he got along with anyone that he came in contact with. However, Avocado's best friend, Sunflower Seed Beard, that's a different story. It's suddenly clicking with me what the SS means. I don't know why I thought he was a boat. For the sake of saving breath, we'll shorten his name to SS Beard. SS Beard was a large man. No, a huge man. Yes, he was about 6 feet tall, but the guy weighed somewhere around 400 to 500 pounds. No, that's a big boy. SS Beard was like a boat. I did make that joke too. A ball of human meat that you could see dropping past the edges of his always tight clothing. How does one even gain this much weight? Well, he really enjoyed food. We shared a few classes together, and here and there throughout our high school career, and I noticed that he would chew sunflower seeds obnoxiously in the middle of class. Ew. He would bring a whole family-sized bag of seeds everywhere he went, chew for a while, and then slowly spit the shells into a clear Coke bottle. Okay, that's disgusting. No. I hate it. It wasn't exactly pleasant watching that mixture slither down the sides of his heavily used bottle. I'm gonna throw up. Watching him chew anything wasn't a pleasant experience because of his severe underbite and his tongue that he liked to brag about for unknown reasons. Ew. He would chew with his mouth open, allowing you to see the corn-shaped brown teeth hard at work, and his overly sized tongue would swish around whatever he's eating. Okay, that's so gross. So gross. Ew. Most people found him to be obnoxious and rude, yet he was nice to me. By my third year of high school, I think I would consider him one of my best school friends. Why? Because he was always nice to me and made sure that I wasn't ever sitting by myself. After all, a friend of Avocado's was a friend to him. Yeah, I know the kind of person he was and how he became, but at the time I was innocent and thought he was just friendly. He'd tell me all about My Little Pony, and then he tried to get me to play Magic the Gathering with him, but he was happy enough to have a girl that would listen to him talk. The only time I thought he ever crossed the line was when he decided to run up to me from behind and slap my butt. I slapped him right back. He accepted the slap and stuck to slapping other girls' butts in the school hallway. I didn't really care what he did, as long as it wasn't towards me. Looking back, I cannot believe I did not realize the size of that red flag. Yeah, that's a big one. Between my junior and senior year, things with my at-the-time boyfriend were going south, so I broke up with him and moved on. Once senior year started and SS Beard learned that I was single, he started to act very differently towards me. Very, very differently. And frequently. He would call me cute and say things like, "Short girls like you are so sexy." I'd just shrug it off and assume that he didn't know how to not be weird since he has never dated anyone prior. There's a reason why SS Beard was just a school friend. For starters, he would get drunk and high outside of school hours whenever he saw an opportunity. Me being my super innocent self, who didn't want to partake in those activities, preferred to do my homework and spend time with my family. Even though SS Beard had my number for a while, because we'd find each other in the same classes and he needed help with homework, he knew my boundaries and wouldn't contact me unless it was strictly about school. Until he decided that those boundaries would be okay for him to cross. It was really late one weekend night. I had a string of texts sent from him to me that were written differently than usual. Something about wanting to squeeze my boobs or something. Honestly, I shrugged it off at the time and decided to forget about it, figuring that he was just drunk or something. I didn't think too much about those texts until several years later. Now, knowing today what he had planned for me, this is a very important detail that I overlooked. It's kind of the thing about red flags, isn't it? When you're wearing rose-colored glasses, they just look like flags. At school, Avocado, SS Beard, and I hung around each other a lot. Since the guys who ran the game club had graduated, SS Beard was elected to be in charge of the club. He was delighted to turn it into his own weekly Magic the Gathering tournament, and Avocado and I helped run the club. This really turned into Avocado and I trying to find things for non-Magic attendees to do. Eventually, Avocado stopped attending because he got more involved with other clubs that people invited him into, and the game club became split into two groups, SS Beard's Magic tournaments and my group talking about different games or whatever we wanted while playing various games on a borrowed Nintendo 64 and the host teacher's projector screen. Despite the divide, most were pretty content with how things were running, and friendly conversations would frequently be flying across the room between both groups, during both activities. October came, and our high school allowed us to dress up in costumes. So on Halloween Day, SS Beard walked into the school in full handmade Dark Souls costume. To put it nicely, the costume was creative. He skipped around the halls in his costume, which did not hide any of the fat rolls that would flop around as he skipped. Even his extra chin, which was just this whole neck swollen like some kind of frog, was bouncing around like the rest of him. In one hand, he carried around Sunny D and shouted, "Praise the sun!" as he ran up to some random students and stretched his arms up high above his head. Ooh, yeah, that's... This freaked out many students because at first they would get startled by the loud yelling, turn around and just find an overweight man uncomfortably close to them while holding an orange juice drink and a cardboard costume that did not hide any of his hairy, scabby skin. He even had his own horse, which was really just another mutual friend that I shared with him and Avocado, skipping along while neighing loudly and clanking coconut halves together.
What? Ridden on a horse? Yes, you're using coconuts.
A teacher that had both of us in one of their classes and I stood together as we watched in horror from a distance of what was unfolding in front of us, be that the skit was being performed in front of us and the flaps of belly and side meat. This cringy spectacle did not last long, as the school quickly received enough complaints that they had to stop whatever this was supposed to be from continuing, Needless to say, SS Beard made Halloween very entertaining, and the school day hadn't even officially started yet. A month later, my birthday came. I wasn't expecting anything from anyone and continued on like a normal school day. However, when I got to my first class of the day, a class that SS Beard and I shared, I was greeted by SS Beard and a small present. I told him that he didn't have to, and he said, "No, I know you'd love this one. I know you so well." I opened the present and saw that they were Minecraft earrings. I told him it was a nice gesture because Minecraft is one of my favorite games to play, and he knew that I wasn't expecting to get anything for my birthday. But I don't have my ears pierced. This was actually a reminder, since we've talked several times before about how I can't wear most jewelry due to allergies to several metals. I thought it was out of character for him to get someone a present, so I figured this must have taken a lot of effort. Several days later, he asked me out. I had friends who had warned me that something wasn't right about him, but I thought they were being judgmental because they couldn't say why they disliked him. Again, I was innocent, and I thought he deserved a chance. To everyone's surprise, I agreed to date him, as long as he quit the drinking and the drugs. The texting interactions between myself and drunk SS Beard were becoming more frequent than I had liked and felt comfortable with, so I made sure that he understood how he couldn't continue to do things like that around me. He reluctantly agreed, but he was excited to call me his. This is just the beginning of a long story, of which I now wish never happened. The next part will be about my time with SS Beard, outside of the school, and about as a couple, and meeting his family, and oh boy, those were some weird times. Strange people often came and went from his parents' house, which led to strange things happening in an already strange place. Anybody else sensing a series? Wow. I'm excited to know what's going to happen with this guy. The fact that, oh man, just the way you describe this dude sounds like so many people I went to high school with. Like, I also am from like a very small southern town in South Louisiana, as a lot of you probably already know. And yes, I grew up down here, and yes, there's a lot of rednecks. The sunflower seed thing isn't exactly a new thing to me. I personally can't stand them, but that's just me. But wow, yeah, no, this guy sounds interesting. He's an interesting boy. I honestly cannot wait to hear whatever else you have to tell us. This is a wild one. I'm excited. I want to know more. But wow. I don't know what else to say. This is okay. I'm looking forward to the next part, and thank you so much for sharing this story with us. Thank you for wanting to share this entire, I don't know, is it a series? Is it? I don't know yet, actually. But whatever it is, it sounds interesting as hell, and I need to know more. So, thank you again to Shari the Dolphin, and thank you all for being here. I'm excited for the next part, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It does something, I don't know, YouTube. But if you'd like to support this channel, I have a Ko-Fi, and I have a merch store. And those help out a lot. There's also a stream every Saturday, and yes, we did talk about that, so I felt the need to bring it up. So yeah, there is a stream. I never exactly know what's going to happen on the stream, so, you know, it's a thing. And if you have a story that you'd like to share, send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. I'll check it. It's my subreddit, so I usually do. But either way, I'll see you guys in the next episode. I love you all so very much. Goodbye!